wird Ihnen präsentiert von Rolex.
Es ist eine riesige Herausforderung, eine Opernproduktion auf die Bühne zu bringen. Hunderte Menschen sind bis zur Premiere daran beteiligt.
I think what makes a great opera, obviously, is a great story.
And then you have to have a composer who knows how to use music in order to tell a story.
We created this production pretty much around the idea of a boxing ring.
I think that there's over like 400 costumes.
Wie kann die Musik und Geschichte einer zeitgenössischen Oper gelungen erzählt werden? Wir blicken hinter die Kulissen an der Metropolitan Opera von New York und verraten, wie die spannende Produktion der Oper Champion entsteht. Der neue Champion der Met. Erste Runde. Jede fesselnde Oper erzählt eine spannende Geschichte. Und diese Geschichte ist die wahre und schmerzhafte Geschichte eines der großartigsten Boxer, der in den 50er Jahren nach New York kam. Emile Griffith, der Boxer der Karibikinsel St. Thomas, hütet ein Geheimnis. Er führt ein Doppelleben und ist bisexuell. Sein Gegner, Benny Kid Perret, findet das heraus und beleidigt ihn mit homophoben Bemerkungen vor einem Kampf im Jahr 1962. Im Ring entfacht sich eine der größten Tragödien der Sportgeschichte. Emile Griffith schlägt Perret ins Koma. 10 Tage später stirbt er. Emile wird den Rest seines Lebens von Schuldgefühlen geplagt. Diese tragische Geschichte inspirierte den Komponisten zu der Oper Champion.
The line that really gets me is like, you know, I killed the man and the world forgave me, but yet I love the man and the world wants to kill me. It's something that makes the whole story unfortunate in a way.
I killed a man and the world forgives me. I love a man.
Well, at the core of this story, to me, it's about two things. It's about redemption and forgiveness. And the forgiveness part is forgiving yourself.
Der sechsmalige Grammy-Preisträger und Jazz-Trompeter Terence Blanchard komponierte das Meisterwerk. Er gehört zu den wichtigsten Stimmen der zeitgenössischen amerikanischen Musik. Er schreibt auch die Musik für Kultfilmemacher Spike Lee.
In this piece, you're going to hear a lot of different things. You know, we call it an opera and jazz because, you know, I'm using a lot of jazz elements. But we have calypso, we have sambas, you know, we have even some street beats, if you want to call it that. If I'm going to be a contemporary composer, then all of this is possible DNA for a composition. All of it, everything in our cultures, from all around the world.
Die Oper zeigt den Champion im Weltergewicht durch Rückblenden in verschiedenen Phasen seines Lebens. Eine Herausforderung für das Kreativteam. Wenn Regisseur und Bühnenbildner zusammenkommen, müssen sie entscheiden, wie die Welt, die sie erschaffen wollen, aussehen soll.
I think the thing that I find these days with new operas and composers who want to do opera, they're more influenced by film than they are by theater. So it's very rare to do a new opera that doesn't have 20 scenes at least.
Um ihre Ideen vom Bühnenbild visuell darzustellen, nutzen sie ein Modell, eine Art Puppenhaus. Das hilft dem Team, wichtige Entscheidungen über die Bühne und das Licht zu treffen.
Honestly, the easiest part is figuring out what it's going to look like. With a thing like this, you've really got to start with the way it moves. Because the way a set moves can't be an encumbrance.
This isn't the type of opera where we bring down the curtain and then take it out when the next scene happens. It just keeps going. So we have to work out all of those transitions very, very carefully.
Emile Griffith, is that you?
Wants to know.
It's me, Mommy.
Das Bühnenbild wird in der eigenen riesigen Werkstatt der Metropolitan Opera gebaut. Ein Team von Handwerkern gestaltet hier alles selbst, vom Tischlern bis hin zum Schweißen und Malen. In dieser Produktion ist der handgemalte Bühnenvorhang ein besonderer Blickfang.
And that's a big stage. We work big, we're versed in working big. You sort of need to have in mind that from a distance, color, value, texture, sheen, temperature, you need to crank all that up a certain amount.
Die Figuren visuell zum Leben zu erwecken, das ist eine wichtige Aufgabe für den Kostümdesigner. Hier an der Met arbeiten in jeder Saison mehr als 100 Schneider und Maskenbildner an Tausenden von Kostümen und Perücken. Der preisgekrönte Kostümdesigner Montana Levi Blanco hat ein Jahr vor Beginn der Proben mit seiner Arbeit an Champion begonnen.
What you see here is, I guess some would call like our war wall. I think that there's over like 400 costumes, and so it's really helpful for us with these scenes with many, many people. It's really helpful for us to see everybody as a collective. So what's really beautiful about Champion is that it's a memory piece, right? And so we are thrown back into these very visceral, real, alive memories throughout Emile's life. So one of the first is a carnival in the Virgin Islands in the late 40s. The second is a 1950s cabaret drag bar called Hagen's Hole. And the third really interesting space is kind of this male-dominated, masculine gym space. So I think that that's what's really special about Champion is that it's an amalgam of all these worlds that you might not normally have access to, and Champion allows us to present that on the stage in a really beautiful and engaging way.
Yes, she did.
The research. One of the really special things about being at the Met is that they have relationships with kind of antique jeweler vendors, and so we're able to kind of use vintage stuff when in processes where you wouldn't probably normally be able to use vintage. So kind of like right now in the process, I think that we have our basic infrastructure, right? And then we gotta like put like the sprinkles and the frosting.
Manche Rollen erfordern große Opfer.
Good morning. I'm Speedo. I've been training for the Mets champion for about a year. Come watch me train.
Der Bassbariton Ryan Speedo Green, der die Titelrolle des Preisboxers verkörpert, hat 40 Kilogramm abgenommen, um in Topform zu kommen. Die schlagkräftige Geschichte des Box-Champions ist Teil einer Initiative der Met, zeitgenössische Werke zu präsentieren und damit auch ein neues Publikum zu erreichen.
When you're doing a modern work, a new work, there's so much that goes into even unprecedented territory of how you're going to present it. Like, I mean, even I think about today, you know, we have huge dance numbers in this piece, more so than probably any opera that the Met has done in a long time.
No way!
You know, my entire career up to this point has been about breaking preconceptions. You know, I come from a trailer park in Virginia, and the fact that I'm singing at one of the greatest opera houses in the world, it's a big deal. But now I think with this opera champion, I have the opportunity to break the preconceptions of opera goers, of opera fans, of what opera can be.
Ready, ready, ready.
Oh, ready, 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 ready. Ready for the fight and ready for anything. Ready, ready, ready.
This is not just an opera. I mean, there's so much involved. There's dance. I mean, there's a parade on stage, stilt walkers. I mean, it's amazing to look at, it's amazing to listen to, and it's even more amazing to feel these kinds of stories. I'm hoping that the audience will say, you know what, this is beyond our wildest dreams.
I'm very proud to be able to have people experience something that will open their eyes to this art form, which will allow them to do more investigation and have more experiences themselves.
In Runde 2 der nächsten Folge von Musica verfolgen wir die spannenden Proben bis hin zur Premiere.
Musica wurde Ihnen präsentiert von Rolex.